Hi, passionate Rangers FC fans. Welcome to Rangers Update, your dedicated source for all things Rangers. Before we dive in, we want to express our gratitude for your unwavering support. If you bleed blue, don't forget to subscribe, smash that like button, and let's strengthen our community. Now, let's get into the latest updates. A hearty welcome to our new followers. Your backing means the world to us. WATP, let's get to the news. The word around Ibrox these days is that John Lundstram is not only holding his place, but becoming the heartbeat of Rangers midfield. And the buzz from training sessions is that the coaching staff are quietly astonished by how sharp and disciplined he looks in every drill. Fans who gather outside the training ground whisper about the way he dominates small-sided games, shielding the ball like it's glued to his boots, while younger players gravitate toward him as though he were a natural leader, offering subtle pointers without ever coming across as overbearing. It feels as if he has stepped into a role beyond simply being a central midfielder. He is now the calm voice that dictates tempo, the one who stops frantic passages of play from spiraling out of control, and you can sense the trust of his teammates whenever he drops deep to collect possession. The rumor mill says some opposition managers have already remarked privately that facing Rangers with Lundstram at the core feels like trying to breach a wall that refuses to crumble, a human barrier that not only blocks, but also builds. The atmosphere around Govan has shifted into something close to admiration mixed with anticipation, because supporters know that the presence of Lundstram offers a different dimension when the pressure rises under the lights at Ibrox. Those who witnessed him in action last season insist that he has elevated his consistency, cutting out unnecessary risks and embracing the art of simplicity, turning defensive transitions into platforms for attack. Conversations in pubs across Glasgow suggest that, when he is in form, Rangers play with a balance rarely seen since their most successful campaigns, a balance between rugged resilience and elegant progression. Pundits, though cautious, have hinted that his positioning resembles that of classic midfield anchors from European giants, the kind of player who protects a backline yet launches quick counters with crisp, diagonal passes. Whispered stories claim that even in closed-door sessions against the club's attacking talents, he has looked unshakable, intercepting moves before they gain momentum. If Rangers truly aim to challenge domestically and in Europe, many are starting to believe that Lundstram's influence is more than a luxury. It is becoming a necessity. There's chatter that within the dressing room his influence stretches beyond the pitch, with reports that his voice during halftime talks resonates just as loudly as the manager's tactical instructions. Teammates supposedly respect the calm authority with which he addresses mistakes, offering constructive words rather than harsh criticism, and that maturity has raised the overall standards inside the group. Supporters scrolling through forums can't help but speculate that such presence was exactly what Rangers had been missing during crucial stages of previous seasons, when games slipped away because nobody seized control of midfield battles. Old-timers, recalling the spine of title-winning sides from decades past, have begun drawing quiet comparisons, saying Lundstram's stubbornness in duels mirrors the steel of club legends. The vibe among journalists covering the team is that his contract situation might soon become a hot topic, because when a player performs to this level, whispers about interest from clubs south of the border inevitably surface. Yet for now, the energy around him feels entirely blue, with Ibrox buzzing at the thought of seeing him orchestrate once again. As rumors spread across the Scottish football landscape, rivals have allegedly started recalibrating their plans specifically to account for Lundstram's presence. Tactical leaks suggest opponents are considering doubling up around him, but those who have tried already know that pressing him recklessly can backfire, as he has developed a knack for spinning away from pressure and releasing teammates into open channels. Commentators murmur that this skill, once considered merely useful, has now become a defining trait, turning him into a player who punishes over-eager challenges with surgical accuracy. For Rangers, the idea that opponents are forced to adapt in such ways speaks volumes about his growing stature. Pub talk insists that when you take Lundstram out of the picture, Rangers lose their rhythm, but when he is present, the game flows like a carefully written script. That notion alone fuels the aura that he is not just another squad member, but the pillar around which strategies revolve. Adding spice to the chatter, there are rumors that younger midfielders look at him as a mentor, modeling their positioning and decision-making after his disciplined displays. Some training ground stories describe how he pulls aside the academy lads, showing them the finer points of shielding space and keeping composure when under siege, lessons that are invaluable in a league notorious for its physicality. For Rangers as a club, this trickle-down effect is invaluable because it creates a culture where professionalism spreads organically, passed down by example rather than forced directives. Observers note that this form of leadership is exactly what sustains teams through long campaigns, and fans, catching wind of these anecdotes, feel reassured that the midfield has not just a commander but also a teacher embedded within. Beyond statistics and highlight reels, the narrative growing around him is one of influence and inspiration, the kind that elevates entire squads rather than individual showings. Perhaps the most tantalizing rumor swirling in football circles is that European scouts are taking notes. Yet the prevailing sentiment is that Lundstram has found a stage perfectly suited to his qualities, and he appears more than content to wear the blue jersey. In an era where loyalty is questioned, whispers suggest he is genuinely invested in the Rangers project, believing that the current squad has the ingredients to carve history both domestically and abroad. Such belief resonates strongly with supporters, who crave players that embody commitment rather than chasing fleeting moves. Journalists who follow his trajectory hint that he might be entering his peak years, a moment when experience meets physical readiness. And if that is true, then Rangers are sitting on a midfield general whose best football is still to come. For now, the noise continues to build, fans talk, opponents worry, and Lundstram's name is spoken with a tone that mixes admiration with caution, because he is not simply a participant in matches. He is the quiet architect reshaping Rangers' ambitions. The latest murmurs drifting out of Glasgow suggest that John Lundstram's recent performances have elevated him to almost mythical status among the Ibrox faithful, with fans declaring that his presence alone shifts the psychological balance before a ball is even kicked. Stories circulate that when Rangers step onto the pitch with Lundstram patrolling midfield, opponents glance nervously at each other, aware that 90 minutes of attrition await them. Commentators whisper that his aura is no longer just about crunching tackles, but also about the sense of calm he instills in those around him, making defenders braver and attackers more adventurous because they know the foundation behind them is secure. Conversations in supporters' buses after matches often drift into hushed tones about how indispensable he has become, some even daring to call him the invisible wall that makes Rangers' style of play coherent. Those whispers grow louder when fans recall European nights where his composure under pressure transformed chaotic moments into opportunities. Rumors of his influence extend far beyond tactics. They echo in pubs, radio call-ins, and the pages of fan blogs, weaving a narrative that Rangers' resurgence may well be pinned to the broad shoulders of Lundstram. The chatter among insiders is that the coaching staff are constantly highlighting Lundstram's decision-making during team meetings, using clips of his interventions as learning material for the squad. It's said that even players from attacking departments, who usually crave highlights of their own goals and dribbles, sit up and pay attention when footage of Lundstram calmly breaking up a move or threading a line-splitting pass appears on the screen. The idea floating around is that his role has become almost academic, teaching by example, showing teammates how small decisions ripple into larger outcomes. Fans who catch glimpses of his training attitude whisper that he doesn't need to shout or throw arms around. His concentration speaks louder than words. In fact, gossip insists that his work ethic is infectious, driving others to elevate their intensity simply by proximity. Pundits speculate that this unspoken influence could be the hidden edge in title races, where consistency often outweighs flashy brilliance. In conversations across fan forums, you hear the same refrain. Rangers are better, more structured, and more dangerous with Lundstram orchestrating from deep, the heartbeat no one dares overlook. Across the Scottish football scene, rival fans grumble that Rangers' midfield seems almost impenetrable with Lundstram anchoring it, and the conspiracy of whispers is that their managers privately dread setting up against him. It is suggested that tactics meetings at rival clubs revolve around trying to nullify his presence, yet no blueprint has consistently succeeded. Observers have noted how he thrives even more when opponents attempt to press him aggressively, spinning into space, or drawing fouls that relieve pressure. Among fans, the legend grows that he is the kind of player who turns adversity into opportunity, a fighter who relishes confrontation, but equally loves dictating the rhythm when things settle. Stories of him calming teammates during stormy fixtures have begun surfacing, with supporters claiming they can visibly see his gestures urging composure. Journalists often frame him as the unsung hero, but within the Ibrox corridors, the tale being whispered is that he is no longer unsung. He is the central figure of a team looking to restore dominance. Whether fact or myth, these conversations spread like wildfire, fueling the perception that Lundstram is Rangers' cornerstone, the immovable piece around which everything else is built. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to get all the exclusive news about Rangers FC. Don't overlook any details about your beloved team. It's crucial for Rangers FC fans. Some of the juiciest whispers claim that European opposition scouts have quietly jotted down his name, impressed by his ability to control tempo in continental fixtures. Yet the strongest belief is that Lundstram has no desire to depart the Ibrox stage. Fans latch onto this rumor with delight, because loyalty and commitment are priceless commodities in modern football, and the idea of a seasoned professional buying into the Rangers' vision carries emotional weight. Social media circles are filled with speculation that he could eventually wear the captain's armband, given how naturally his leadership qualities shine through without needing the official title. Pundits tiptoe around such suggestions, careful not to stir controversy, but the fan base seems convinced that his stature is growing by the week. Some supporters even whisper that his personality resonates with the club's traditions of resilience, graft, and unwavering determination. Whether truth or exaggeration, the storylines taking shape paint Lundstram not only as a player but as an emblem of identity, a symbol that Rangers are crafting a spine capable of carrying them through the toughest of domestic and European campaigns. Talks in the city center echo with nostalgia when Lundstram's name surfaces, as older fans quietly draw comparisons to midfield generals from previous golden eras. They whisper of similarities to figures who once defined Rangers' dominance, players who combined grit with tactical intelligence. And though such comparisons are always delicate, the fact they are being made at all highlights the respect Lundstram commands. Younger fans, meanwhile, thrive on these stories, adopting him as a modern hero whose every touch on the ball reinforces belief in the team's trajectory. It is said that even in the press box, journalists exchange knowing looks when he produces yet another interception or perfectly weighted pass, acknowledging that they are watching something steady but special. Forums glow with anecdotes of supporters spotting him around the city, noting how grounded and approachable he seems, traits that add to his mythos. The narrative forming is that Lundstram is not merely a midfielder, but an institution within the squad, a living reminder of what stability and consistency look like in a sport often dominated by chaos. Each whisper fuels another, and the legend of the invisible wall continues to grow. Ultimately, the swell of rumors, observations, and anecdotes converges into one undeniable truth that fans are eager to embrace. John Lundstram has become indispensable to Rangers, not only for what he does with the ball, but for the way he shapes the identity of the team. The whispers aren't confined to Glasgow anymore. Across Scotland, even rival supporters grudgingly admit his impact, though they cloak it behind sarcasm and banter. Inside Rangers circles, the belief is crystal clear. As long as Lundstram stands firm in the heart of midfield, the team has a foundation sturdy enough to challenge any opposition. Stories about his leadership, his discipline, his loyalty, and his tactical intelligence merge into one rolling narrative that feels less like gossip and more like destiny. Fans who fill the stands and flood social media speak with conviction that their side's ambitions hinge on this invisible wall who defends, dictates, and inspires all at once. Whether rumor or reality, the legend of John Lundstram grows louder with each passing match, a tale that feels poised to become etched in Rangers history as the cornerstone of a new era. Greetings, fans. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, as it's greatly appreciated by Rangers FC. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments section below. Until the next video, stay tuned.